Hey guys, it's your girl Vanessa. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys all for tuning in again. So you guys, today I have 4 groups prepared for you. So I want you to choose one of the 4 groups intuitively. As usual, I'm going to tell you guys that you might feel attracted to 2 groups, so your reading might be a mixture of 2. So if you do feel that way and you can't make up your mind which group really suits you the best, feel free to watch 2 readings. So today's reading is going to be all about relationships. So this can be friendships, this can be like familial relationships, sexual relationships. So I left that really open in today's reading so that, you know, everyone can sort of watch this reading. It's not just for like people in a relationship or people going through something in a friendship. This is just a relationship, a general relationship reading. So yeah, you guys, I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to hold us up. Let's get straight into the reading. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's reading. So this is group number 1, this is group number 2, group number 3, and group number 4. So as usual, if you feel like it's necessary to just pause the video and meditate on the cards in order to choose the right one for you, feel free to do that. And yeah, we'll get straight into it with group number 1. Okay, so far in group number 1 we have the Queen of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles. So what I instinctively see in the Queen of Pentacles is that you're a very nurturing person, and for you it's all about balance. It's all about balance between your work life, your personal life, family, friendship, relationships, and that's something that's really important to you. So Pentacles, they're the suit of earthly possessions, you know, time, money, finances, things like that. But I can see that you're not the greedy type. I see that anyone who is lucky enough to have a good relationship with you is truly blessed, as you know, you're very nurturing and you give those who need extra cuddles, who need extra time and attention. You're happy to give that to those people. At the same time, you're not overbearing, and you know it's important to keep your finances intact as well as your personal life. So I can see that you're like put together and that your relationships are benefiting from that. However, in the 5 of Swords, I can see that one of your relationships may have taken a turn for the worse. I can see that maybe you've tried to push your thoughts or your opinion onto a relationship. I can see that maybe you tried to win a battle, and in the end there aren't really any winners, because you may have, you know, did something by force. You may have wanted someone to feel the same way you feel or have the same opinion about something like yourself, and you may have put a little bit too much force on it. You may have put a little too much pressure on there. So I can see that sometimes you may have the tendency to, you know, take things whether the other person likes it or not. And I see that you can sometimes be a little bit overpowering in your relationships. And in the end, like, I can see that may scare people off. Like, some people may be afraid to really tell you how they feel because they're worried of, you know, how you might react or what you might do. So that's something that I see in the 5 of Swords. In the 7 of Pentacles, I see that maybe now is time to get a second opinion. You can see, you know, there's another set of eyes in this card, and maybe in one of your relationships it is time to consult someone from outside, you know, maybe another close friend, someone who is in a different relation to you. I see that you can be very critical of your relationships, and maybe sometimes even a little too critical. I see that you need to give things time and let things blossom. I feel like in the 5 of Swords, like, maybe there was something like you wanted to get to the next level in one of your relationships, and now, like, I feel like with the 7 of Pentacles you may be a little bit impatient. So this is especially true if it's like a romantic relationship. You may have wanted to force something into the next stage, and now you're just like critically looking at it thinking like, what can I do to fast forward this? And I want you to steer clear of doing that. Sometimes it is best to consciously do nothing and let things blossom and do things in their own time. So I see here that, now is time to have fun, to celebrate, to not be so serious. I feel like maybe you've been taking things a little too seriously lately, and, you've been putting a lot of thought into your relationship, and it may not be necessary for you to do that. Like, you need to remember to live in the moment and celebrate every little positive experience, and don't take everything so seriously. Don't overthink too much, because I feel like maybe you can sometimes read into things a little more than you need to, and that's not really necessary. Then we have starseed. So I see that maybe you are a starseed child, which means that you're someone, you don't really like meaningless conversations. You don't like small talk. You don't like things that don't make sense to you, and you don't like things that make you feel like you're not giving value to the world, like there's no meaning behind them. I see that you're a very meaningful person, and you want your relationships to be meaningful as well. And what I also see in starseed is that, all this enthusiasm and all of this energy, it can be intimidating to the people in your life. I see that in starseed, that is like a great trait. It's a great way to be, but I see that communication is key here for you. Then I also see, once again, the overthinking. You need to stop overthinking and just keep facing your true north. I see that in order for your relationships to flourish, you need to just, step back and just cool down. Don't overthink things too much, and don't try and do anything by force. Don't try and make the next move even though, things aren't fully ready. Being stagnant can be a conscious choice. It can be a good choice. So make sure that you know that you shouldn't overthink it, and just like have fun, celebrate, live, and don't put too much pressure on your relationships. And most importantly, I see that if you just keep channeling your inner starseed child and you just keep doing what is meaningful to you, I see that not only will you flourish, but also your relationship. So that is basically the essence of what I see in your reading. Okay, group number 2. We have the Seven of Swords, the Moon, and Temperance. So what I instinctively see is that there is some sort of mistrust or betrayal in your relationships right now. So that could be either mistrust in you, or you're kind of not trusting someone right now. You have like sort of like a bitter feeling. And also in the Moon, I see that there's a lot of mystery around. There are a lot of unanswered questions, and you're not really sure whether to move forward. You're not really sure what to do with the scenario right now. And I see that there's like a lot of mystery, a lot of things that aren't clear. I see that you are lacking clarity in one of your relationships, and I feel like now is a time to ask questions, and now is a time for you to answer questions. So, if people are skeptical of you, if people are skeptical of what you're doing right now, and they're asking questions, answer them. If you feel like there's someone who is not telling you the whole truth, if you feel like there's more behind something in your relationship that may help you move forward, then now is the time to ask questions. Because if not, I see that there's just a lot of like mistrust and a lot of uncertainty around. In Temperance, I see that at the same time, you want to make sure you don't overindulge. So I see maybe you've been partying a lot, maybe you've been drinking a lot, maybe you've, been smoking. I just feel like there may be some sort of overindulgence in something that, it could be like a drug. It could also just be overindulging in your relationships, like in a person. You may have been so focused on a relationship that you're overindulging. And whenever Temperance shows up, it's time for you to take a step back and take a little break. So if you have been partying a lot or drinking a lot, or just out and about a lot, now it's time to take a break. And I see in the Moon that there are a lot of unresolved things that you need to work on right now. And if you're constantly overindulging, if you're constantly under the influence of something, I see that clarity will be really, really difficult for you to achieve. So, you know, temperance in your life, I see that that is really important for you right now. Then another thing that I see is that, you know, now is time to call in your soul family, call in those people who get you and don't judge you. So I see that a relationship might be kind of like a mystery to you. You don't really know what to make of it. You don't really know how to like fix this situation in your relationship. And I see that it's important for you to call in the people who don't judge you and will give you excellent advice on any situation. And I see that it's important for you right now to release like patterns, to release any sort of past lives that are weighing down on you. So if, for instance, you know, your relationship is, there's something going on in your relationship, something that you're not too sure of, and you have a pattern of, say, drinking, or you have a pattern of overworking yourself, then now is the time to break that pattern. I see that that is harming your relationships, and you need to look at the patterns that you have as a person. Everyone has patterns, good patterns, bad patterns, and I see that you may have patterns that are harmful to relationships that you need to work on right now. Then we also have transformation. So I feel like things are either changing on a deep level right now, or you need that deep healing. So I see that in temperance, it's a time for transformation. It's a time to step away from whatever it is that you've been overindulging in, and it's a time to really transform and sort of clear up these uncertainties, sort of make sure that you get rid of this of your trust issues that you have here. I see, you know, a lot of trust issues going on around your relationships, and also this unsolved mystery. You know, maybe there is something that you can do, maybe there are questions that you can ask, and I see that now is the time to do that in order to transform your relationship on a cellular level. So it might be that you need to let go of the relationship as a whole. Maybe it's not the right thing for you, but maybe you can take it to the next level, and that's what I see here in, you know, Unbound. Like, it's time to release anything that has been holding this relationship back. It's time to, you know, do everything on a positive note and just be free. Don't feel like you're tied down, or like you have any relationships in your life that are weighing you down. So that is definitely something that I see as very important for you right now. Okay, so we have the Devil, the Two of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. So instantly I know that the Devil is a difficult card for most people. As you can see, the deck that I use is fairly modern, so there's no like devil with horns like illustrated on my deck. And that is just because the whole satanic image behind the devil for me is just outdated. You know, we are in 2018. So in my readings, when the devil shows up, it's telling you to reevaluate your relationship to material things, and I feel like they might be keeping you chained. Also, it's time to look at any relationships that are limiting your personal growth, especially if they're abusive, obsessive, or harmful relationships. And another thing that I see in the devil is that it's time to confront your fears. As you can see, it's time. It's time to confront fears about, you know, financial security and social standing, as well as material success. So that is what I see for you in the devil. In the Two of Swords, I see that, you know, we have the moon, we have the water. Water is your subconscious, the moon is your intuition. So your eyes are covered, and, you know, there are two different routes to take. So you have to make a decision. You know, there's not going to be a sign on what to do in your relationship right now. There's not going to be a sign on how to move forward. You need to move forward with the information that you have, and you need to make that decision for yourself. I see you just remaining stagnant and in an uncomfortable position, and in a position of not really knowing unless you make a decision. So I see that you're not going to move forward in your relationship unless you decide, you know, which way to go. I see that it's really up to you right now, and I see that you need to make that decision intuitively, and you need to use your intelligence as well as your common sense to make the decision. Then in the Knight of Swords, I see, you know, communication is key. I see someone who is very witty. I see that you are very like smart, intelligent, and you're not really one to easily fool. And I see that now in your relationships, communication is key, clear communication. Also, we have the Two Swords here, which, you know, leads me to think maybe you're an Aquarius, maybe you're a Gemini, maybe you're a Libra. That's just what could be in these two cards. Or, you know, maybe the relationship that you're questioning has to do with an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. So I see that there may be an air sign in here, and air signs are typically, you know, fun, they're adventurous, exciting, powerful, they're very creative. So I see that in your relationships, it's important for you to clearly communicate, and right now I see that you need to lead the way. And we have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? So I see in the Devil that you really need to reevaluate your relationship with money and material things, and I feel like you may also need to reevaluate your relationships with people, and now is the time to ask yourself how you can mother yourself. So and when this card shows up, I always think to myself, you know, what would my mom tell me to do? What would my mom advise me to do? And that's what I want you to do right now. I want you to think of either your mother or another person in your life who has always given you, you know, great advice, and you know they only want the best for you. Think, you know, what would they advise you to do? And then follow through with that advice. And if that is cutting the cord on a relationship, you know you need to cut that cord. And if that is working things out, then you need to go deep into yourself, as in your spiritual realm, and really work out what it is that's not working for you and your relationships. Then the Council of Light. So I see that it's important for you to know that the universe has your back. There are unexplained forces in this world that are pushing you towards making the right decision, and these forces are pushing people in and out of your life for a reason. So I feel like you just need to believe in the Council of Light. You need to believe that the universe is there for you, and just believe in like divine orchestration happening, things you can't see, but somehow they're still working out for the better. So I want you to keep that in mind. Then we have Leap. So you go first and the universe will catch you, and that's exactly what I see in this relationship. I see that you need to make a decision and you need to take the leap. You need to communicate and not be afraid of hurting anyone's feelings, because you just need to be clear of what you need, and make sure that you're basing your decision off your evaluation that you have here in the Devil. And then you want to take the leap. Everything's going to go well. I see that the universe has your back and everything's going to work out for the better. So things may be hard at first, but once you take the leap, once you have faith in your decision, I see that things will work out beautifully. Okay, so group number 4. Okay, so we have the 6 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. So instinctively in the 7 of Wands, I see that you have some sort of walls up. You've been trying to protect yourself in your relationships. You've been trying to not lean out the window too far, not trust too much, not share too much. I feel like you may have been keeping some things inside of you. You may have not been opening up as much as you would want to, and I see that you're sort of like fighting off debt a little bit right now. And I see that in the 4 of Cups, that may be making you a little bit sad. You may feel a little isolated and somehow unmotivated, and you may feel like there's no one who truly cares about you, which deep down you know is not true, but it's just like a shallow feeling. I see that deep down you know that you have people who care about you, but right now you may not feel it as much as you want to. And I see that, you know, that may be weighing you down, but at the same time, in the Six of Pentacles, I see that now is a time to give. I see that there is enough to go around in the relationships. I see that the table is set. There's a lot to go around for everyone. Now is the time to share and to help other people out. So while you may be feeling a little left out and a little left behind, I see that it's time to, you know, open up. I see that the Seven of Wands shows me that you may have been a bit on the defense, but I see that now is the time to open up and let your relationships really, you know, see the essence of you, feel the essence of you. In the Six of Pentacles, there may be a friend or a relative or someone close to you who may, you know, require help or assistance in something, and now is the time to assist and be there for other people. Whenever you feel like you've retracted a little and you want people to give you that emotional attention, it can work out like counterproductive. You can just isolate yourself more and more and more. So when you feel that way, it's always better to put yourself out there and to help other people, because that way you will in return, you know, receive that same help, and you will in return receive the attention that you may have been craving. So that is something that I see in the Six of Pentacles. Then dance, you know, do something to shift your vibration. I see that in your relationships you might have been in a bit of a funk, and I see that now is time to just move freely and change your vibration, shift your vibration. I see that you need to do something liberating and freeing, and you know, that could be going skinny dipping, that could be painting a nice painting, that could be going to a different class, like a different yoga class, a different workout class, anything that makes you feel liberated and like you're using your whole body and like you can feel that sort of euphoria running through your veins. I see that that is something that you need to do now. I feel like you may have been a bit tensed up, and it shows in your relationship, it shows in you, because I can see that there's probably not much reason for you to feel isolated, but you know, you just can't help it. So I see that just dance, just let things flow, just do something to shift your vibration. I see that that would really help you as well as your relationships. So I want you not to forget that now is your time, okay? You only have one life and you need to live it now, because tomorrow is not promised. If you feel like you were meant to do something specific, now's the time to do it. Each life on this planet has a meaning, and I want you to remember that your life is meaningful. This is your time to do something. Like, you're not just here to just live. Like, you have a purpose, you have a meaning, and now is the time to embrace yourself, embrace your relationships, and really think of others. You know, think of how you can help others, how you can express gratitude for all of the amazing people in your life. And even if you feel like someone has done you wrong or someone has left you alone, kind of, I see that now is time to, you know, just embrace things. Now is time to just forget about that and move forward, because holding a grudge will be more detrimental to your relationships than if you just shift your vibration and remember that you have one life, and now is the time to live it. Now is the time for you to enter a higher spiritual realm and, you know, go after what it is that you are here on this earth to do. Then we have yes, just say yes. So I see that you just need to start saying yes, okay? I see that a relationship may have not been working as smoothly as you wanted to. And, you know, just like in the Seven of Wands, you may have been resisting. There may have been something going on that made you put your walls up. And now just let them down and say yes. Just, you know, go on that date. Go and do something fun with that person. Just say yes to yourself, you know, say yes to embracing yourself, to moving. Say yes to life, say yes to, you know, light, say yes to your life purpose. Say yes to shifting your vibration and helping out others. Now is the time for you to just say yes and not question it too much. Don't stress out. Just remain positive and remember that your life has a purpose and you need to live it and embrace it. Okay, you guys, so that was today's reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this reading, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.